Hello, thank you for watching. If you are rejoining, well, we greatly appreciate that. This is part two of being prepared. Part one was about the mental aspect of preparing. Just getting in your head that something could happen is a great first step. Then start to kind of branch out into what different things could possibly happen depending on wherever you're located on the earth, and prepare accordingly. Start thinking about, if I get into this situation, what do I do? That's the mental aspect. Go back and watch that episode if you missed it. This is about the physical part of it. This is about what you need to have as far as physically to be prepared. And this comes from the United States government. Okay, the list we're going to go through. I recommend some additional things, some things that I don't know if you necessarily would want, would need to have that the government recommends. It all depends, again, on your situation. But these are the basics. Now, this isn't a survival channel. This isn't a prepper channel. This is a 4-part series on this particular channel about being prepared for whatever may come. All right. The first thing that's recommended by the government is a gallon of water per day, per person, for several days for drinking and sanitation. Now, what I've done is I've got drinking water, then I've got other bottles that have water that will be used for sanitation and for other purposes. Don't forget about your pets when it comes to water, and when it comes to pet food, pet treats. Make sure that your pets are considered. Prepare for 30 days. Okay, the government says a minimum 72 days or 72 hours, 3 days. Prepare for 30 days. All right. Worst case scenario, 30 days without power, let's say. Let's say it's a cyber attack and the entire power grid's down, and it's going to be 30 days before it can be restored. Be prepared for 30 days. 30 days worth of water, 30 days worth of food. That's number two, food. Granola bars, great source of various grains and roughage. Spam, pre-cooked meat of any sort, something to think about. One thing I like cereal. Sellable top, resealable top will allow you to use it for many weeks, however many weeks it'll take you. I've got about 4 bags of cereal, again, enough for a month. 1 box of granola bars, 1 granola bar a day, 12 in a box, 3 boxes, and you're good. Just put this stuff in a pantry or put it in a box or a container away from your regular supplies so you know where it's at. I talked the other day and asked a person, if something were to happen, do you have enough food? Well, gosh, yes. I said, I got a week's worth of food in my refrigerator. Well, if you're without power, if you're a real true diehard prepper and you've got generators and all kinds of stuff, okay. We're probably at the place where it's too late to get into real deep prepping because, in my opinion, and an opinion of a lot of people, there's an incredible weird vibe going on in the world. A lot of potential things could happen. We're probably too far past the point as far as supplies being available to get too deep into prepping. So what we're doing here is prepping for the rest of us. Now, I've got camo, I've got guns, I've got ammo, I've got, I know how to do a lot of different things, fortunately. I can make moonshine if necessary. I know how to dig a latrine. I know a lot of different things. This isn't about that. This is about the average person having the right things to get through 30 days worth of no services. Okay. If the power's out, no running water. You got to be, there things you got to consider. The refrigerator is not going to be working. I recommend if power goes out and it's going to be out for a while, boil your eggs as soon as possible if you've got a gas stove to preserve the eggs. So you got a source of protein. You got a little cooler. Always keep a couple of bottles, water bottles, frozen. So you can keep things cool for at least a couple of days. Okay. If you've got medication that needs to be chilled or refrigerated, take all of these things into consideration ahead of time. That's basically what this is about. Number 3 on the list, number 3 from the government is a emergency alert radio. I've got just a small one here. This is a Midland, and this isn't about rocking out to the Rolling Stones on a Memorial Day picnic party. This is about being able to get information and have the right frequencies to be able to get the information when it is put out. In the event of no electricity, there still will be broadcasts on emergency weather stations on emergency alert frequencies. And that's the point of having that to monitor. Number 4, flashlight. Go get yourself a flashlight, extra batteries. Just keep it separate from your regular normal routine. Just have a kit, have a bag, have a box, have something where all of this is all together ahead of time. So you know where it's at. You can have stuff in your pantry that you add to it if you're not going to leave. If there's a biological, chemical, or nuclear attack and you've got to get out of your house and you're going to be gone for 30 days minimum, have something ready to bug out if necessary. A whistle. If you can whistle, you're okay. If you can't whistle, go to the Dollar Tree, the dollar store, Dollar General, wherever. Pick up just a whistle, just a little 25, 50 cent, dollar. I don't know how much they cost. A toy whistle, just so you can make noise in case you're happen to be trapped underneath something, or you can make noise to draw attention to your location should you find somebody injured or something along those lines. Number 6 is number 7 actually is dust mask. Now I've got an actual respirator, okay, and I do have dust masks as well. This is in case, again, that unforeseen circumstances you find yourself in a contaminated area somehow. Volcano goes off near where you're at, and you can't breathe outside unless you have some sort of protection. Virus, really bad viruses. We're already familiar with viruses. The next thing the government recommends is plastic sheeting and duct tape. Now, this is to seal yourself in case of a chemical, biological, or nuclear attack. Again, depending on where you're at, depending on what time of year, if you seal yourself in somewhere, it's going to get really hot really fast. The air is going to stagnate. It's not going to be a good situation. Okay. So if it gets to that, I don't have any plastic. I've got duct tape, but I don't have sheets of plastic to cover the windows and doors. I probably should, and just in case it's like for a 3-day period or something, but I don't have that at the moment, for full disclosure. Moist towelettes, baby wipes for obvious reasons. If you go 30 days without power, without water, You're not going to be able to flush the toilet. Plastic bags are going to be necessary. You're not going to want to use your water more than likely to flush the toilet. Plus, you got the off chance of backups into your sewer lines because it's not getting pumped, and all kinds of situations. All right. A wrench or pliers. Now these are called channel locks. They come down into the plier and they'll expand out. Something along these lines, just to turn off a gas line in case you may have to turn off a water line if necessary. If it's erupting and you want to conserve the water, you can turn the water line off. A manual can opener. Manual can opener, something you may not think about, but if you get a can like this instead of a can like this, you're going to want to make sure you have one of these. Okay. And again, over a 30-day period, you might be surprised with nothing else to do, how quickly you start going through your resources. Okay. Local maps. If everything goes down, you're not going to be able to rely on GPS or your phone to get you places like we all do. Have some local maps, have some regional maps if you're planning on trying to reconnect with family some distance away. Okay. And the last thing is indeed your cell phone and charger, because one of the first things they will try to do, and probably one of the easiest things to do, will be to reestablish cell phone communication, at least in certain areas, just because it's not going to be as complex as regenerating electrical conduit wires and power stations and switching stations and everything that goes along with our power grid. So emergency alerts will probably be coming in through phones first. So make sure you got your phone, make sure you got a charger, and if you have a backup battery, which I do, make sure you have that as well. Now I've also got just a headlamp. All right, a rechargeable headlamp, just for in case I've got to be out at night, and it'll enable me to keep my hands free and still have visibility. I skipped over this first aid kit. This was actually number 5 on the government's list. This is just I think this is like $25 maybe, 250 items. Treats cuts, scrapes, lacerations, burns. It's got medication for aches and pains, trauma pad, 2 ice packs, durable plastic case, rubber gloves, organized dividers, and sliding latches. So anyway, have an emergency kit. And again, if you've probably got your own individual medicine cabinet, but if you suddenly got to get out of your house in 30 minutes, you'll want something a little more organized. Okay. Just that you know that you got the basics. All right. So that is our, that's part 2 of our series here. A couple of other things that aren't on that list, something to occupy your mind. If you're by yourself, books, coloring books. I've got an adult coloring book with colored pencils. If you're going to be in a group, games, board games, cards, things like that, things to occupy your mind, because if you're in a situation where nothing's going on, okay, there's not going to be any gas being pumped because all the pumps are electric. You're not going to be able to drive anywhere. Even if you can, go to a store, you can't use your cards. If you don't have cash, you're sunk. So have a little cash on hand is another thing I personally recommend that's not on the government's list. So just some additional things there. Now, if you want to know what gun to buy and you want to know all those kind of things, get a hold of me. But that's not what this particular 4-part series is about. This is about prepping for those that aren't into the deeper aspect of it. We just want people to be aware of these things, have these things just in case of an emergency. So thank you for watching. We'll be back with part 3. We're going to be talking about the emotional aspect of what it would mean to be going 30 days without, as we have our 4-part series on preparedness. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like, please hit the like, so we get this out to more and more people. Part 3 coming very soon. Thank you again for watching. Have a blessed rest of your evening.